Alec, December is a month that we could definitely talk about. It happened.
It is. It happened. It exists in our
It's
collective
out
memory. It
there.
was the last month of 2020. Thank God that's behind us.
I
And now
mean,
we have the amazing. What are we in? The first 6 days of 2021. Let me tell you, must have been a banger. Am I right? It's been a bop.
who could forget
Who
December
could
2020
forget?
though?
Yeah.
I mean, there definitely, if we can't agree on anything else, we can agree that December happened. And hey,
Yep.
we're here to highlight our favorite things from that month. We each have three things we're bringing to the table. All right.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't have too much going on in December, honestly. So,
Work. A lot of
the
work.
first thing I'd like to highlight is the holiday season. Christmas
Wow. Really?
happened. It
This
was
is what we're
great.
going with.
Yeah, yeah. Right? Don't you agree? Holiday
I
season is
do.
great. I
Yeah.
love giving gifts, honestly, and this year especially, I put together a lot of nice gifts for my friends. Um, Usually didn't give gifts to friends in the past. I also didn't have friends in the past, so I'm working on it. But so I had fun putting together gifts, and also got a record player for
Oh, nice.
Christmas. So now I want to start
Nice.
collecting vinyls. I only recently started collecting CDs, and that's
Hmm.
how I listen to them in my car because I have an older car.
Hmm.
But now I got to collect vinyls too. So
I have a newer car and it still has a CD player in it. So.
yeah, but I don't have like a freaking nice aux cord like the kids do these days.
Oh, I do have one of those too.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
got one of the cassette tape things that works as an
Oh
aux
yeah.
cord, but it's not.
Oh.
They're not good.
Oh no, they're terrible. They're real
They
bad. They're
stop
real
working
bad.
after like two times using it.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, I'll use CDs. I just carry
Yeah.
around a few CDs at a time in my car and keep the rest here. But I
Nice.
want to start collecting vinyls now because I was mentioning to my mom how always would like to collect vinyls because I think they look really nice. But I'm like, I wish there was a better way to present them because you just put them into a thing. Really, you can't have like them all lined up on
Yeah.
display unless you have a nice wall to hang them on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Vinyls are a very like kind of a they beg browsing like to
you can
peruse
get
through
a
like a collection. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like that's not my preferred thing. I like to have things to be visible. Like
Yeah.
if I ever
No,
got
same. My CDs. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't have my CDs anywhere yet. That's something I have to work on in the basement because I'm basically creating. I'm going to be creating another living room down in our basement. So that's gonna be
hmm,
that's my this year project. But
like if I
anyway.
ever got my own place, I would probably like just dedicate a wall to them. It'd be
Mm,
cool to have them all hanging up. But
yeah.
yeah, I've only got a couple. Just the one she gave me. It was like a couple pentatonics vinyls.
Nice. Nice.
Um, there was one other one. Oh, there was a Kirsten one too, who is also a member of Pentatonics, but it's her
Yeah.
solo thing.
Yeah.
Um, So that's cool though. Like the record player she got is like one of the newer ones, so it plays CDs and also does Bluetooth. Like you can do all three in it.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I got
Very
a
nice.
bunch of nice things. That was one of them. And I just I always enjoy the holiday season.
Yeah. Same.
The good vibes all around. Um, like giving things. So yeah. So December. Am I gonna just do that every year? Every December? Yeah.
The Christmas season. Yeah.
Love the season.
I don't remember what we did last
A
year. I don't
little
remember what we
different
talked
for
about.
2020. I think last year was like when I was playing Ring Fit Adventure for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I need
And
to get back into that. I was actually just thinking about that game today. I need to get
yeah,
back into that.
yeah,
Um,
for sure I do too. But
okay.
2020 holiday season was different, but it's still good. It's still good.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Well, my I got a handful of things, all sort of different assortments this time around. So we have we played our first Dungeons and Destiny campaign adventure
Oh, Dungeons.
in yeah. So Dungeons and Destiny is a D&D like sort of fan made module sort of system. It's like an alteration of the fifth edition Dungeons and Dragons, um, set in the Destiny universe. So my role playing group is playing that now. We're doing a campaign done by my good friend Chris, and we're going through an adventure that he's setting up and he's making for us. He's basically homebrewing everything. Clearly, a lot of work he's putting into it, and we're having a whole lot of fun already. We've only played two. We've only played twice, and we're already having just so much fun in with the new system and his DMing style and all that sort of thing. He also has like a voice modulator that he's been using, and that has been like super fun. Um, so yeah,
It is
um,
cool.
yeah. So it's cool because it's like clearly the people who made it had to go in and sort of alter rules around and things because obviously it's Destiny. There's a lot more ranged combat in Destiny than in like Dungeons and Dragons, where your ranged combat is either going to be spellcasting or bows. Should you be somebody who uses like projectile weapons, but in Destiny you're using guns like all the time. So that's kind of a big thing. So there's a lot of rules around that, around the different classes and everything. There's sort of alterations and things into how that system fits into 5e, and that's been really fun. Getting to play in a slightly new system, having to learn new rules it was a little daunting, even though it is very based in the same edition of Dungeons and Dragons. Still having to learn new rules and stuff is still always kind of daunting. But it's been good so far, and we've had a lot of fun. And even the newcomers to the Destiny universe, of which we have two that are completely new to it, and then four of us who've played Destiny for varying amounts of time. So that's been fun, kind of getting them, because there's almost sort of role playing as fish out of, well, not quite fish out of water, but they're what's known as like new light. So they're like newly regenerated guardians. So they're kind of learning the ropes about how everything works in the universe. So
Mm-hmm.
whereas most of the rest of us, like I'm role playing essentially the character that I have in game, and I'm just sort of taking her and role playing her. So this is the first time I'm also the first time I'm role playing as a woman, which has been fun so far. So
Do you
yeah,
have are there love interests in Dungeons and Dragons?
there can be. Yeah,
That's fun.
yeah. I don't know if anyone in my so when we were forming, funnily enough, when we were forming our Chris asked that we all, in order to sort of have good party dynamics and stuff, and to like help us explain like why are we all working in a fire team together. He wanted us to kind of come up with bonds so that we would all have at least one bond with another member of our party.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking with, so me and Josh are probably the people that have played Destiny the most. Well, actually, so we actually have a new person in our group, which is one of Chris's friends from like high school. Um, he and this guy and another friend of theirs from high school, from like middle school, high school. They had a Let's Play channel for like a good close to a year, and I used to watch their stuff, so I know him. I knew him through that, and just hanging out with him playing Destiny back like when I first started a year ago or over a year ago. I guess it was like 2 years ago now that I think about it. But anyway, so he's probably played. I mean, he's played a lot more Destiny. But I was talking with my friend Josh as to like, so what should our kind of backstories be? And I kind of half jokingly said that it was like, we could be just like we could have been like old flame, like an old flame or something. He's like, no. He's like, I don't vibe with that. And I was like, oh, I was kind of looking, I thought that would have been kind of fun, but he's like, it was something like, I don't want you to romance me or something like that. Which is like, it's fine, you know. You always want to make sure that you don't want to, you don't want to cross boundaries people don't feel comfortable with, even in role playing.
Yes.
So it's definitely a possibility. I mean, Chris could potentially also, you know, make characters that our characters could potentially fall in love with, you know. So it's like that's always a possibility. No matter what you do, you know, it's a lot of DMing is also sort of figuring out what your party likes, what the different members of your group enjoy about playing tabletop RPGs, and kind of trying to implement that into the experience a little bit. So
Yeah.
you know,
I feel like
uh,
we just talked about the Mandalorian. I feel like Star Wars would be a great Dungeons and Dragons thing, right?
yeah. So there was an alteration of third edition Dungeons and Dragons that was the Star Wars RPG. Actually, Knights of the Old Republic uses the Star Wars RPG system,
Mm-hmm.
like straight up uses it, which is why going back to it now that I played Dungeons and Dragons, I feel like I would understand that system so much more now because there was like the language never made any sense to me. I was like, what is a saving throw? I was like,
Right.
it was like doing these deck saving throws. I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what's going on. Why am I turns like this? Why do I have to proc? I can only proc 4 turns. Like, why do I hit sometimes and other times I don't hit anything? It's just like none of that stuff made any sense to me. So, but now that I played that, feel like I could completely understand how to play that game now. So,
The second thing I want to talk about is Happy Console Gamer.
oh,
So,
okay.
well, mainly, actually, their holiday thing, the Christmas special they do.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
always my favorite
Yeah.
thing.
Me too.
What? How many years has it been now? Like
Like
12
12?
years.
Yeah, I think 12 years. Yeah.
It's great. So like, every year, Happy Console Gamer, Johnny Millennium, and Rob Man, they always exchange gifts. Have been like best friends since childhood, which is was great about it. And it's always a
Mm.
great tradition, you know. So every year, it's always something to look forward to. It's just seeing them exchange the gifts, and
Yeah.
that's really cool. Like, obviously, it's not like to that extent, but being able to do the gift exchange thing we do is kind of like that. It's a
Hmm.
nice. It would be a nice tradition if we keep doing it. But it's like something special
Maybe,
about their like. What's that?
maybe some of your post-COVID, we could actually do a gift exchange with those guys in person. It would be
Well, that would be
nice.
cool. Yeah,
That'd be really cool. I'd really like that someday. But
yeah. But there's something special about having a relationship that's actually been there for years, like their whole life
yeah,
together, so
yeah.
they know like the most meaningful things to get each other.
Hmm.
And so
And
it's
just
always fun.
the way they play off each other and can make each other laugh and like hearing Rob Band sort of giggle laugh is like
Hmm.
one of my favorite things in the world. It's just like it's so like contagious. It makes me laugh whenever I hear it. It's like it's like
Hmm.
it's just it's so fun.
And they don't always
Yeah,
do videos together these days. It's like every
yeah,
once in a blue moon now. So
yeah,
now it's like, but they always come together each year for this.
yeah.
And I love Happy Console Gamer in general. I don't watch every video of his,
Hmm.
and a lot of times they'll fall out, but then I'll always come back and I'm always reminded like, oh yeah, that's why I love his videos. They're
Yeah,
always
I
fun.
mean I do. He was what got me into All-Gen Gamers back in the day. So like really, when you think about it, basically me being here and talking to you is kind of ode to Happy Console Gamer. Um, and yeah, yeah, I'm a huge fan for a long time. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've always very energetic, very positive. He's very passionate about video games and things. And I actually just found that one of my favorite new people that I've come across over the last 2 3 years or so. He was an old Kotaku contributor by the name of Tim Rogers, and he now has his own. Uh, he went off and he's doing freelance stuff with actionbutton.com, which I guess was a website he had back in like the late 2000s, early 2010s. But
Hmm.
he sort of revitalized that and does it through Patreon. He has done so far like 5 or 6 reviews, all of which are more than 3 hours long, and they're only on one game each. So this first was on Final Fantasy VII Remake. He did one on The Last of Us, the first one. He did one on Doom, the 1993 game, that was over 3 hours long. Um, Pac-Man, the arcade game, and then one called like Tokimeki Memorial, which is some like Japan only visual novel, and that's like 5 hours long. I haven't watched that one yet. because it's 5 hours long. I think he plays the whole game in the review. But anyway, he mentioned Happy Console Gamer in one of, I think in the Final Fantasy VII Remake review. He mentioned people that like are inspirational to him, and people he's like they probably don't know that I watch them or that I enjoy their content. So it was like Happy Console Gamer. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's a Happy Console Gamer fan. I was like, that's awesome. Tim Rogers is like was like a very well-known contributor on Kotaku, so I thought that was really awesome. Anyway,
yeah, honestly, like Happy Console Gamer is, one of the original like retro gamers. So he's not like mainstream appeal. He's gotten like almost 300,000 subscribers now.
Yeah.
But so it's been nice to see him get like success from it. At least, because it's not the usual kind of channel that really takes off.
Yeah. He hasn't really changed his content that much over the years either, which is really cool.
Yeah. It does bother me that he still puts reaction in his title when it's not reaction, just because reaction has a new context to it now.
Yeah, it does. Like, that's true. So yeah.
When you look up reaction, you want to see them watching something, but it's always, right after.
Sometimes
talking about it.
Sometimes these days he does actually show himself reacting to it, but it's very rare. It's very rare. Yeah.
But like it's cool looking through his videos. Like they get a regular amount, like a decent amount each video, but then he'll have an occasional one like of a new game he reviews. It'll get a lot. It'll take off. I guess all his Cyberpunk video had like almost 200,000 views or something. They just, and then it gets out there, and then people. It must be so weird for some people who are like looking at new game reviews and they see all these retro games back there and they don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
You go into his channel, there's this whole new world out there, and that's where we started was with the retro gaming community.
Yeah, that's where fledgling YouTube got its start. Do you remember when Peanut Butter Gamer was on Legend Gamers podcast? That's just wild to me.
Yeah,
that's just completely wild. I think he mentioned doing something with like normal, like talking. I need to go back and listen to that episode at some point. But like, I almost wonder if he mentioned that he and JonTron were going to be starting like a kind of group or something of YouTuber. The Normal Boots. That's what they started it. So this was before that. It was before any of that stuff. So it was wild, or it was right around that same time anyway. But. Yeah, crazy.
All right, what else you got?
So I have speaking of YouTube, I have a YouTube channel that I have been greatly enjoying over the last month. I've been enjoying it longer than that, but it's really the last month I've been introducing it to more people and hopefully making fans out of them as well. And that is Abroad in Japan. It's a channel that I had seen before. Just in recommended videos, I'd seen some of his videos before, but he guest appeared on an episode of something else, and I'm not going to mention it because I'll save it for probably some other month to talk about, so I do want to highlight it at some other point. And he and I was like, oh yeah, I'd seen his videos before, I should check it out. And then his content is just awesome. It's amazing. They're vlog. A lot of them are like vlog style. Some of them are just sort of general. It's basically him covering general lifestyle stuff about living in Japan. He's lived there for over 10 years now. He started as like an English teacher. But now he does YouTube full time. And he just recently had a series that was a journey across Japan. He's had like one or two other ones of those, or at least one other one of those before. And this most recent one was called, the gimmick was called Escape to Mount Fuji, because he had never, despite being in Japan for 10 years, he's never gotten like the perfect view and picture of Mount Fuji, the iconic one with a really nice view. So he wanted to make a point of doing that, and so it's a week-long trip he took with a couple of friends, and yeah, it's a great series, extremely well produced. The filming is really good. He is Chris Broad is his name. He's British, and as you can expect, he has a very dry, sarcastic, cynical sense of humor, as
As all
most
British people do.
as most Brits seem to. That is their comedy, after all. That is an extreme tenet of British comedy, is dry and sarcastic.
David Tennant.
Yes, David
Is
Tennant.
that what you said? Okay.
No, I said a tenet of their. um, yeah, so his content is great. I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been going back and watching older episodes he's done. I mean, he's got like 10 years of content, or close.
10
Maybe
years.
not quite 10 years, but like he's got a lot of videos. I went back and started watching his first journey across Japan,
Just like
which
me.
which was a bike trip. That was interesting. Yeah, it's just been really fun. I mean, I love Japanese culture. Obviously, I'm a weeb, so that stuff really appeals to me. Just general lifestyle things, particularly about like a foreigner living in Japan, is just like really interesting to me. That perspective is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, his content is just. There was one video that he did that I've actually found very moving, and I actually highly recommend watching it. And it was kind of a review about the aftermath of the tsunami, the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. And it was like his interview with like 5 or 6 different people, with like in sort of all the different perspectives of people that lived through and had to experience the aftermath, and like what happens after this occurred, and how they've sort of dealt with it and how they bounced back from it. And it was like it felt like I could have seen it on PBS. It was an amazing like documentary style video, and the CEO of YouTube actually retweeted it recently and said was proud that videos of this quality can be showcased on our platform. And yeah, it totally deserved that recognition. It's a stellar video, and I highly recommend watching it. So yeah,
I'll have to check that out. I love Japan.
Yeah.
I think I'm really fascinated by the culture as well. That's like number one on my list of places I'd like to travel to for sure.
yeah.
All right, my last thing is of course Dua Lipa
Oh, nice.
again.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Just throw it out. Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Okay.
I'm always listening to Dua Lipa every month since I mentioned Dua Lipa, and I only really have 2 albums to listen to from her, but they never get old. And also, there's a new song with Miley Cyrus.
Oh.
I think it's called, what's it called, Graveyard or something.
Well then.
I don't know where I got Graveyard from. It's Prisoner. Yeah, Prison, which is really cool. I mean, Miley Cyrus apparently has like this whole, like really, like 80s rock style going now.
Oh,
with
okay.
her, like with her look, definitely with her sound on that song, you can tell.
I'm reliving my dad's era.
But she's rocking out. It's pretty. I really love that song. And yeah, Dua Lipa, always, forever,
Cool.
forever and always. I love her.
Cool.
So,
So my final thing is Star Fox 64 3D.
really,
Yeah. Right around Christmas,
it's pretty good.
I was I just didn't know what I wanted to bring home, because I spent Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then Boxing Day with my folks. So I spent a couple nights over at my parents' place. And I was like, all right, well, what do I bring? And I was thinking I could bring my Switch, and I was like, but I wasn't totally sure exactly like what I would want to play. But then I remembered that I had been meaning to play Star Fox 64, the 3DS port, for like forever. I brought it on like 2 or 3 separate like trips over the last couple of years. And I was like, I've been meaning to play this for forever. I should finally just sit down and play it. And yeah, I've been pretty addicted to it. I mean, I love Star Fox. I love Star Fox 64. It was a game I totally fell in love with as a kid. I remember renting it multiple times. We never like owned a copy until it was actually one of the first video games I ever bought with my own money. Some cheap at an electronics boutique back before they were bought by GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
EB Games.
yeah, and so it was at one of those, and very cool, great game. I mean, it was just absolutely phenomenal. I wasn't totally sure, and still even now I'm not like super sure like the difference, because there's two modes that you start with. There's the 3DS mode, and then there's N64 mode. And from what I can tell, like they say with the 3DS mode, they're like rebalance to use controls in the 3DS circle pad. And I was like, did they like, if they mean rebalance, did they mean like literally they change like enemy placements and stuff like that? Having played both modes, I can't really see any difference at all, not even in enemy health or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's literally just the two control schemes, but they've split everything up into two categories. So I'm having to get double the medals and everything, double the score attack medals.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really hard, by the way. Those are like super, like I don't even know how I'm gonna get gold in like half of those. But yeah, I've been playing that, enjoying the crap out of Star Fox. I love I have that T-shirt that I love wearing. I'm sure I've worn it on a few Tarqaron episodes, but huge Star Fox fan. I don't think there's a game in this.
What's better, Star Fox or Star Wars?
I mean, obviously Star Wars, but Star Fox
Trek.
really does. I mean, the state of Star Trek right now is pretty bad, so I would say Star Wars. If you'd asked me that maybe like 3 years ago, I might have said Star Trek. So,
do you think there's some way we can get Star Fox above Star Wars?
No, I don't think so.
Really elevate the whole, really flesh it out, maybe.
Well, I mean, after Star Fox Zero, after everyone absolutely hated Star Fox Zero for reasons that I don't want to get into, because I actually completely
highly political reasons.
For highly political reasons.
They really politicized that game.
They really. It was really bizarre when all of a sudden, General Pepper was like, "Make Corneria great again," and it was really weird.
Yeah, it felt out of place. People were uncomfortable with it, but
yeah,
it is what
and
it
they made.
is.
Yeah, it was really bizarre when they made Andros look like the Dalai Lama. It was very weird.
Yeah,
so,
they made subtle like anti-Semitic jokes.
Yeah, it was very. It was quite a dark turn for Nintendo.
But I mean, a lot of people respected it because it was bold. But
yeah,
you know,
no,
they could flesh it out, get like a Star Wars series going or a Star Fox series going, and
well, they had before Star Fox Zero came out, there was like a CG short that was awesome. That was like they could legitimately turn it into like an anime, and it would be pretty cool, I think. But
anyway, yeah, Star Fox 64 it's great on 3DS actually. It translates really well to the.
It does. And actually, to be honest, the 3D great, absolutely fantastic. I don't play with it on all the time, but every once in a while I'll flip it on and be like, wow, it does look really good.
Something. Let me turn that off though. It's not really...
Well, when I'm using the gyro, which I don't use very frequently, I do sometimes. Yeah, I turn it off because I was like.
Crazy how there were a good couple months where we really thought about 3D. Like we thought about it.
It's just like, wow, that really is something, and then I turn it off.
Neat.
It's so true.
Like it just really got reduced to a gimmick so quickly.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, oh yeah, there's just a Switch. I guess that's why this is a 3DS. You have the Switch up here, but like the games by the end of it were not even trying to utilize it at all.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, Pokemon didn't never used it. I don't think.
Because they were like with the new 3DS, you can look at it from any angle, no problem. You got great 3D.
Yeah, it's eye tracking 3D, but
it's better, but
it is really good. But
still gonna flip that boy off real quick.
Because it doesn't really do anything. I like it. It is very much a gimmick, though. I mean, it's absolutely a product of its time, for sure.
Yeah, and the 3DS really is one of the greatest things ever created. So,
I mean,
Leave it there.
it is a great system. So
I love it.
all
I
right,
want to play more of my
that's it.
3DS, honestly.
We should break out the Super Smash Brothers for 3DS.
Oof.
That would be pretty tough, huh? That'd be
I put a
real
lot of time
rough.
into that one, honestly. I think it's still my most played 3DS game
Oh,
somehow.
really? Wow, that's
But
wild. I put the whole month into it that before the Wii U version came out.
but
I did put a serious amount of time in it
yeah,
during that period, but um,
we used to play it in high school. Like during our lunchtime, we would play it together. Like when the demo came out, and then after that, we were all playing it. Little local
oh, that
multiplayer.
demo! Oh my gosh, that demo! Oh, you just brought me right back. That demo was great.
I,
It's so
I
good.
still remember Rusty.
Oh
I wasn't able to get the code for it, and then Rusty gave me his.
no, that was
So
wow. That's really nice.
yeah, and that was
Oh
great. I put a
man,
lot of time into that, but
yeah,
now it's Smash Bros. Ultimate all the way.
yeah. I've been playing a lot of that recently too, actually. So
Same. Honestly, it's still the like probably the most
your comfort food
my
game.
biggest time sink of December, but I didn't want to just put it
Yeah.
every month because it'd probably be every
Every...
month,
yeah.
and there's not much to talk about. It's more the
Yeah.
same. Like I'm just grinding against computer players for a while.
Not even Sephiroth.
Oh,
Everyone's using him online, by
that's
the way,
true.
too. It's pretty. Yeah.
But I'm like Captain Falcon main, ride or die.
Ooh,
So I
okay.
just like sink hundreds of hours into Captain Falcon nonstop.
See, this is something I know we're basically going. We're basically done, but I actually have found that I really like fighting Captain Falcon mains or people who are playing as him online,
Hmm.
and I still detest playing against Donkey Kong people. It's just the most frustrating thing in the world. I can't stand it. I just can't stand. I hate how many options he has. He has so many
Captain Falcon
options to
is
get
a
rid of
far
you.
better character than Donkey Kong, though.
He is, but I like playing against him more.
Mhm.
I know what my options are a lot
We
more
need
with
to
him.
like once this whole COVID thing blows over, we need to play some Smash because really you can't. Online does not do the game justice. You gotta play it
I was not
in
having
person.
I wasn't having too many problems with it when I was playing before. There was one match that I did. There was one match that was like,
It's
boy,
rough
this
for
is
me. I
bad.
mean, also I
Yeah,
just don't have a good connection. I don't have the
yeah,
Ethernet cable
yeah,
either, but I
yeah.
just like would love it. I love playing against people on, like offline. 'Cause
Mm,
that's like the full experience. So we should do that sometime. We're gonna
yeah,
have to come together and all of us do a gift exchange and play Smash.
that'd
That
be great.
December 2022.
You will destroy all of us. But yeah,
Well, actually, maybe we can get December this year.
it's a
How
goal.
do you think?
We can try to.
What will the country be like in that point? At that point, you think?
Who's to say after today? Who's to say what that's gonna look like? But anyway,
All right.
where could the fine viewers? Where should they go?
They can
What
follow me
should they
on
check out
Twitter
after
at
this?
underscore Zach
I
underscore
mean,
Archer
they
underscore.
can do that. Where can they find you? But also, what should they go watch after they finish this?
What should they go watch? That's a good question. Um, Let me point you back to one of our Star Fox reviews. One of
Bum 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 ba da ba.
our Super Smash Bros. Ultimate review. No, there's nothing there. So why don't you go check out our favorites of the month of October 2020.
Okay, yeah.
That was a month as well.
See what
A
we
couple
enjoyed
months
in
ago.
that month. There's one thing I really don't like about Star Fox 64 3D though. There's one thing in particular.
Fucking
Um,
peppy.
well, I mean, there's probably more than that, but I don't like Andross's new voice because when he shows up when you're fighting him, I loved the old voice because it was really creepy, but when he shows up now, he just goes ha ha ha,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, what? I loved the creepy like echoey like laugh
Sounds
that he had in
better.
the N64 version. It was terrifying. I mean, it's terrifying because it's like echoing. It has all this weird distortion, but instead it's like ha ha ha. I was like, boy, it's just game one take, didn't they? Like, it was really bad. It's just, but,
I know what you're saying, but along those same lines, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our
yeah.
podcast feed, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, and follow us on Twitter at Tarqaron TWO. Okay.